Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight. Old and new friends, big and small, streamers unite, we welcome all. Get cozy, grab your cocoa, don't be late. Join the fun, it's gonna be great. Here's for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight. Old and new friends, big and small, streamers unite, we welcome all. Get cozy, grab your cocoa, don't be late. Join the fun, it's gonna be great. Creators for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight. The holidays are here, so let's unite. Creators from near and far in the limelight. Together we shine, spreading joy and cheer. Streaming side by side, the best time of year. Creators for Christmas, come and see. Every day a new face, join the spree. From trials to tales, it's all so bright. Let's celebrate and stream tonight.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whoever you are, whatever you are, what if any you might be. And sorry, I had sent the wrong link. It only happened twice during these 10 people. Yeah, today will be the 10th guest. And what a guest. Today we welcome Squeegee from Trial TV Live. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Broken Baker. I really appreciate you having us on today. Very excited to talk to you. And with an intro like that, it can only go down from here.
You can do a lot with AI and Canva.
Right. But before we get started, I just want to mention Jeff and Legal Vices and what he meant to our community. I believe he was going to be on your show.
Tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow, yeah. So I know that probably hit you pretty hard. I know it hit us hard as well, and Jewel. So I just wanted to acknowledge him and his family and his friends and his community. So,
and thank all of you who helped him pass 100,000 subscribers. So he is now eligible for a silver play button, and that's a legacy to leave behind for a family who didn't even know he was a streamer.
Yeah, that's amazing. What's the story behind that? Do you know anything about?
Well, he lived in Korea, and I think he had some kind of plan. At some point, he would talk about it. But and that's the thing about plans. They seem good, but we never know when the Valkyries ride by and picks us up and takes us to Valhalla. And I think his son knew that he was a kind of a big deal on the YouTubes. Okay. But again, it's my kids don't watch me. They find it weird that their old man is a YouTuber.
Do they watch YouTube at all, or are they on TikTok?
Mostly TikTok, I'll think, but I can't do that. It's I'm too old for TikTok. So it's
yeah, we're not on TikTok either. So are we on TikTok? A little bit. Oh, we are. Yeah, Aaron is. Yeah, we are on TikTok, but we don't use that platform that much. So
no, and I think actually the times are going against it, especially with our generation. Is we want longer and longer and longer form content because we were brought up on news. Every story must a max of 1 minute. We need 5 ad breaks in a second,
right?
And watching a football game takes 4 hours because we have all this advertising and breaks, and now we just like people like you who put on a trial and sit there for 8 hours a day talking about it. The community is great. They always want to participate, and I think we're getting older, so we're going more for the slower, thoughtful content, and the kids. It's that we need constant switch over because we can't concentrate.
Right.
I saw a Danish recruiter today saying he was having a dinner with some folks, a young man. Everything looked good. All his exam papers were great. He couldn't keep a conversation because everything, when he wrote an email, if he wrote a text, if he did a report, everything he got help from AI. So now he couldn't think. He kind of thought in AI prompts.
Right.
So
yeah, it's the same thing with cursive writing, being able to look at an analog clock. It's like a dying art, if you will. And I feel like you're right. We may be the last generation to be able to look at an analog clock and be able to read and write cursive. I hate to be like that because I'm sure you have some people in your community that are younger than us, but that does seem to be happening a lot more. What do you think?
Yeah, and sadly so, because we talk a lot about it in Denmark in the schools. That, you can't give them homework because it stresses them out. Yeah, but going home and reading is really good for your brain because it makes your brain work and fill out all the. It has to paint the pictures of the words you're reading, and it's really. We talk so much about. I don't know if you do the same in America, but crossword puzzles is something they actually, when you get older, they recommend you do because it helps against dementia. Because if you're
100%.
just and getting that in, and you don't stimulate your brain by reading or making stuff with your hands or trying to solve problems, you just slowly deteriorate because you lack that problem-solving skill.
100%. Yeah, I always think of the brain as a muscle, and if you don't exercise it, it's going to become fat and flabby,
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad that we started our YouTube channel because kind of in the same lines with that is that, it really challenges you to think like in multiple levels, constantly. I'm sure you experienced this. You're just constantly multitasking and you're dealing with the chat and you're dealing with the stream and you're dealing with your internet provider and then you're dealing with creating a thumbnail for tomorrow. And you're just always using your brain on many, many different levels,
Yeah, and you're constantly reading papers. You're trying to listen to a stream while you have to watch a chat. And I'm thinking after 2 years, I kind of developed some ADHD or something because your eyes are constantly going everywhere else. And,
I know, right? Well, you're only 27, so you have a few more years.
I am 27. I love that.
Well, just
legal-minded.
don't become part of the 27 club. We don't want that.
No, it's that's another scary thing about Vices. He was only 9 years older than me. That's
yeah. Well,
sometimes you get hit by that realization and that you probably are getting closer to a dirt nap. But
I know.
No, I'm 27.
27, forever 27.
Exactly. DVH dog, because Baker is the best thing on YouTube. Oh, by far. Not the best thing. It's there's way better creators out there, but I'm as I say, I'm top subpar.
Top subpar. That's a good one. I'll have to remember that.
And Whoopi Fox has been a member for 10 months. Hello, love trial TV much better than law and yes. Well, you have the commentary on now because you got struck with that not creative enough.
We did. Yeah, we did. We thought we had a really good, business plan there because we just wanted to provide a clean stream, and we thought having our own unique thumbnails, having, in between breaks, we had videos for like Verdict Watch, Court is on a break. We thought that would be enough. And apparently we flew under the radar for enough time, a couple months, and then right before Thanksgiving, which would have been, I believe it was Monday, I think the 25th of November, we woke up and had the email saying we were demonetized. So that was kind of a gut punch for us. We were not obviously happy about that. But we appealed it and we made this, we thought, a cool video. We explained everything. Aaron was taking video of me working in Premiere and talking to our chat, with the side broadcast that we have on Wednesday nights. And we thought that would be enough, and they denied that appeal. So now we have until the end of February to resubmit our appeal. But in between then, that's why you're going to see my face on our lives every day now, and I'm talking in between breaks, kind of recapping. So that's kind of where we're going now. Is I'll recap after every break during lunch, and we are deleting those older videos that we did that we were not talking, which is it's bittersweet, because when we first kind of talked about that, Aaron and I talked about that. I was like, it's like almost like we were like offing our children. It was really weird because we became so engaged and so attached, if you will. I don't know if you feel the same way about your past trials.
Yeah, because you it's a part of what you have built, and your channel is a part of you, and it's such a weird feeling, because even though when I've done a week of trial and I'm just I always tell Jamie, I'm taking 2 weeks off. I don't want to do it again. The next morning, she's texting me, so what are we doing today? I said, well, I saw this trial out of Michigan. A guy in a treehouse fell down and sued the manufacturer, who was himself. Hey, Dave, thank you for saying OF is a future for me. Make that dough. And you can't get away from it, because you have a chat going, and you have an interaction going, and you like that part where I like that part where I'm sitting and where you're sitting and doing the, oh, I'm in late, what happened? Or I especially like the Ashley Benefield trial, because we were very, very split. I think we were like 46 to 54%. I was innocent, and I was losing to my own chat. I loved that, because I love that interaction where we build a forum where people can come and be disagreeing and watching the same stuff and say, well, you didn't notice this. I really looked at that. Because what we are in reality is the jury. We are the 12 people or 6 people in Florida who sit there and just listen to the evidence and say, oh, I believe her, or I don't believe her. And
right, but we have the benefit of, sorry to interrupt, but we have the benefit of doing all this outside research that the jury theoretically shouldn't have that benefit. So do you feel that is that an advantage for us? I would think so, but what do you think? And do you do that? Do you research outside of?
I'll read an affidavit. I'll read if there's anything, but normally if it's just like that rich girl who hit the golf cart,
Jamie Lee.
I'll read the article and I'll go into it blind, because I want to do the jury thing. And I know a lot of other channels they dig really deep, especially cases like Delphi or Idaho 4. They know everything that's in their trial. I don't know anything. And everyone's saying, oh, what do you think about? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to call on one of you and ask, hey, could you come on and tell me about what's happening in that case? Because I'm as blind as the chat.
Yeah. What we do is the research I do, because we like to have a big description, right, in all of our cases in trials that we cover. So that's the research that I do, and I'll pull together like 3, 4, 5 different sources, and and I think people appreciate that. I'm not sure. Do you do where do you land with descriptions? Do you do a lot in your description?
I just try to do a quick. Well, I think it depends on how you build your channel to begin with, because you also attract a certain type of viewers. And I'm probably the worst person on the internet to my members. I had my first members only stream yesterday, I think. I've only been doing it for 2 years.
I was going to say, after how many years?
Yeah, 2 years of doing this.
You finally got around to it, and they did flame you out. They weren't calling you out and pitchforks.
No, because again, I keep the membership low, and I think they know that I just want to grow the group, and it's the same with all the locals and all of that stuff. A lot of people are always trying to take traffic off of YouTube. and seclude them and say, well, I do the first hour here, and you get 2 hours of me dancing in the rain if you follow me on Locals for $25 a month.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, I'll take the 80% of your viewers who are not members. They can come hang out with me, see me build Lego, cover a trial, talk to wonderful creators. I think it's such a weird. It's probably because Jamie is the budget queen, so I'm doing the budget thing. I'm not good at grifting, even though Dave just paid me $5 to ask you where we give they give you all your money, their money. But
do you want me to answer that now, or?
Sure.
So we are now on Patreon. We also buy a cup of coffee in Venmo, and it's in all of our descriptions. If you go to any of our, and I think I'm not sure if it's in our main title, but if it's any of our streams that we've done, just go to the description, Patreon, buy a cup of coffee in Venmo. But we're hoping in March we can get back on into YouTube's good graces. The overlords hopefully will let us back on, because there's a lot that goes with memberships. It's not just being monetized again. There's a lot of perks that people don't understand.
Yeah, and we are not making people who think that we are making the big dough on advertising. No, a normal stream for me, I'll make $5. But I'm lucky. I have wonderful, generous people supporting me buying memberships or sending super chats. So that's where our main income is. So yeah, you could pull it off system, but there's also that thing. People don't want to open a second tab to pay you. So that's why it's easier to have the YouTube membership.
Yeah, we did not start YouTube to make money. It was just a lark, to be quite honest. Oh, your 14-year-old can't read cursive. Yeah, that's a shame.
No, but by the sorry, we've been going for 20 minutes. Oh. I always start with asking, why YouTube?
Oh, why YouTube? Let's see. Well, Aaron and I have a marketing agency, and we always like to have something on in the background. So I lean more towards music, for get my creative juices flowing, and just to have that on in the background. And Aaron has always liked people talking, so she'll have documentaries on, or a TV show or a movie or something like that. So, and Erin has always been into true crime, and I love it as well, but she's definitely the true crime addict, if you will, the law nerd in our family. Let's see, we started in May, the beginning of May, and the very first trial we did was the very end of Chud Daybell. But then Karen Reed, happened, and we started to stream her. And Erin was working in the living room, and I was in the office, and Jen McCabe, we all know Jen McCabe, right?
Yeah,
she was testifying, right? So here I am, I'm instant messaging Emma. Oh my God, you can't believe what she just said. She just gave Karen this shot arrows at her, and Erin, because I was watching like a clean stream. I was watching I forget, maybe NBC 10 or Boston, whatever. It was like just a regular stream. And Erin was watching another stream who was providing commentary, and she's like, I'm behind, stop it. So one day during that trial, we were just, after work, we were just kind of hanging out and talking. And because we have YouTube channels that we manage of some clients of ours, and we have a channel for our cat. And, we're always looking for like a side project to, passive income. And we're like, we're on YouTube all the time watching trials. Why don't we just start our own channel and just call it, we came up with the name Trial TV Live. And, we're like, let's just do no commentary. Let's just provide a clean stream, and let's just see what happens. And again, it wasn't for money, because we do have day jobs, if you will. So it wasn't geared to make money. It was just since we're doing this already, let's just provide a clean stream, and whoever wants to join can join. And we didn't want to be on screen. That was the last thing we wanted to do. We just wanted to chat, and then as it progressed, people kind of hooked into it, and they're like, oh, this is great, because you're not LNC, you're not CTV, those are, as those are very toxic chats. So people started to hook into that. Your chat is great as well, and we build it on, be courteous, be kind, no politics, no religion. That's a hard stop, but, and respect each other. And and I think by and large, I think we've only blocked like maybe 1 or 2 people, and we have like 5,300 subs now, and we've only blocked 2 or 3 people, actually 2 people, I think, because, and it wasn't because they came in, spouting politics or religion. It was because they just couldn't let go of something, and they maybe they attacked somebody in the chat, and it wasn't like a mean attack, but it was enough. And we said, hey, chill out, that's not what we're about. And it's amazing that we have built this community of people that just want to go and hang out and be and express themselves, and maybe like watch Sarah Boone and be like, oh, she's this terrible person or whatever. And everybody kind of, it's this community that I think is necessary, but YouTube didn't like that. They wanted to see us on making comments. So
yeah, and that's I think they got it from all of those React channels that just put on, and then they ate a pizza and said,
yeah.
So I think they Valhalla Waits, who probably already have a wrench on your channel, even though you didn't know you gave him one. YouTube, he has more wrenches than anyone on YouTube, and he's a good guy, nice. So he needs them. But right. He
what's one more?
Yeah, but he was dual streaming Karen Reed with me, and when I landed in Tennessee to visit him and the expert and the people down there, he said, I just got demonetized. I said, what? Yeah, because I'm just copying your content. Said, but yeah, we're dual streaming. Of course, it's my content, but he's on screen. And he had to do a video, and he's that lovable doofus that everyone you can't, if you meet him, you can't stop loving him. He is the best guy in the world. And he was doing that video, and it looked like a 5-year-old doing a science project. It was, I don't know what to tell you. Here's my videos. This is what I've, and you were just sitting there thinking, oh my God. But he got it back.
And he won his appeal. Yeah, here we did this slick video because, we're videographers and we're doing all this stuff. We're graphic designers. And then they're like, yep, nope. And then we read later, I think Erin read later, she's like, we did the exact opposite of what we should have done. We should have just done like a really simple, this is what we do and that kind of thing. So now we know, in February, the end of February, we'll resubmit, and hopefully, knock on wood, we'll be able to get back. So.
Yeah,
so I hope that answered your question. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's just to try and get, because sometimes you don't know if a guest is the good guest, because in heart, 95% of all YouTubers are big incels who's really awkward around socially. We're social awkward because that's why we're good on TV, because we can talk to other people for 8 hours without ever saying, hey, or be in fear of Jamie giving you a hug. YouTube is the perfect media from it's not incels, it's introverts. That's the word I'm looking for. So you never know if it works or if people have tried it before. I've been really lucky. Everyone has been very different but good streams. So I always try and start it so you can kind of suss out.
Gotcha.
Oh, this is
So did I pass the test?
Well, it's up to the chat. I'm just facilitating the. No, I think no. It's interesting to see how we get here and why we get here.
Yeah,
I started because I was lonely.
Okay, so. Yeah. So tell me a little bit. Tell me a little about your background. Were you a professional juror, or are you still? You're a layman, right? Tell me a little bit.
Yeah, we're not
that.
professionals. I don't know what we are politically. You apply to be a layman every 4 years. And then you sit for 4 years. And I've been doing that for, I believe it's the 13th year I'm doing, or maybe it's the 17th. And I'm not sure. But I've been doing it a lot. So that's my background. But I started my channel talking about Danish politics because I used to be a local politician. Okay. And I thought that the media is always, as I said in the beginning, they always, oh, this is this party, and they suggested that, go on, move on to the next thing. So I doing a national election, I started just no face, no nothing, and said, today I'm going to go over the Radical Party, which is a middle of the road party. That's just called the Radicals. And I went through, this is where the history, they used to be for the small farmer. Today, it's more for school teachers and stuff like that. And then you have the left, which is a right-wing party. Danish is weird.
Yeah, that's odd.
And I went through all the different parties, and then I did, there's a new poll out, and I was commenting on that and what I thought that would happen. And I thought I could be the Danish Real Clear Politics or something like that. And 45 stops 4 months later wasn't really hitting. And then Dave came in and said, because I was in his chat talking about, I think that it is stupid. American law is stupid. Danish is way better. And he agreed with me. And because he's married to a Swede, which automatically he must agree with Danish people. But and he said, I want to hear about the Danish system. Come on. And then he roped me into covering a trial with him. He left halfway through and said, you'll take care of the rest. And then I stole Jamie from him, and the rest is history.
And there you go. So do you stream? Does Denmark stream trials as well, or no?
It's actually really, really hard to get. I tried covering 2 interesting cases, I thought, out of Denmark. Actually, 3. We had a pregnant woman who was stabulated while out walking, and they had a guy who he had some mental health problems, but he might have admitted to it, but didn't. And they had sent an undercover agent into the prison to try and get him to talk. But it's really hard just having pictures of the prison and say, and then the secret agent says he heard, and you can't play the audio from the surveillance tapes, and you can't really do anything. And then we had a girl called Emilia Meng who was abducted, and her body was found, I think, 4 months later, and it was a big problem. And I had younger girls who they hadn't started going out yet, but still everyone was kind of scared because no one knew what happened, and she was just walking home from the train station to her house, disappeared. No one found anything until they found her in a lake. And then a guy kidnapped a 13-year-old on the way home from a paper route. Sadly, he SA'd her, but he didn't unalive her. And they found traces that they could link to Emilia Meng. So that was, I wanted to cover that, but again, when you just have headlines from newspapers, it's really, really hard to make it interesting.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Because I didn't realize that getting into it. Oh, nice. I didn't realize that when we first started that the United States was really the only country that streams trials live or otherwise. So is that your experience too, or is the U.S. the only one that does stream? Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's because we are a trust society. You are a distrust society. If anyone comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm from the government," you say, "Get off my lawn." If someone comes here and say, "Hey, I'm from the government. I'm here to check something." Yeah, sure. Can I get you a cup of coffee? Again, we pay 58.9% taxes because we have a very big, all-encompassing state, and we are okay with it. We call it the social contract, where we pay a lot and they give us a lot.
Right.
So we trust. It's the same. I hate all of the wadirs. If someone tells you they're a doctor, they are a doctor.
Right. You just take it on face value, if you will.
Yeah.
And trust. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. We were talking to Karen Cole last night from the UK, and I was just fascinated about, why the UK doesn't. I thought for sure they would, or France, yeah, it's just or Canada, at least Canada would, I would think. But
I think who lives in silence lives well is something you say about, we say it in Denmark. And I think a lot of officials like that you, of course, you can just come to the courtroom and listen to it and write about it. Yeah, sure. But I can go in and I can see, okay, this week, because I do that, I'll check the court list to see if there's days where they have laymen on, or if there's days without laymen, because I'm on the quick call list, so I have to stay home. Well, I don't have to, but I stay home every morning till 9:15 because that's normally when they call, and then I have to be home again around 1. because if there's an afternoon trial going on, I'll be home for that. So I'll always check and say, oh, Monday they have layman, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no cases with layman. Okay, I don't have to be here. I can go shop in IKEA or something where it takes a little longer. But I can only see, okay, this case is about threats against people in a prison or drugs, or I can't tell you who is on trial. I can't tell you, like the case you talked about yesterday. Could I live in a little more silence? Lefty, shh, but thank you for 10 months. But the case you talked about yesterday, Lindsay, Camden, what's her last name? Out of Massachusetts.
I was talking about it? Or...
Yeah. You were playing wasn't it you who played the 911 call last night? No, that was someone else.
Yeah.
No, you had yeah, that's right. You had a guest on.
Yeah, we had Karen. Yeah, you popped into that. Yeah.
Who the... Did I dream it? No, I'm pretty sure I saw someone who had the 911 call.
Yeah, reality and dreams, sometimes they just become one.
It's the defense podcast. Sorry. It's because...
yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you get 4 hours of sleep and nothing works.
It gets jumbled. I agree. I want to get back to the professional juror or lay person. No, that's okay, because I have thought that for a long time. Because I've served on a couple trials. I did civil, criminal. I think I've been called 3 times. I'm sorry, 3 other times that I was not chosen. And one time I actually went in and I did the whole voir dire, and I'm fascinated by it. And I'm like, I wish that we would do that here. I wish the U.S. would have professional jurors. And I've had, conversations with a lot of people about that. And a lot of people say, no, that's not a jury of your peers and that. But I don't know. I think it would be beneficial to have people who actually care about the system, because I don't know what your experience is over there, but a lot of people, it's just, you're only getting paid $10, $15 a day. You can't. And trust me, back when I was, freelancing, I think I got out of jury duty like 4 or 5 times because I'm like, I do not want to do it. I do not want to do it. But once I did it, I'm like, because I also went in thinking, I'm going to just, say I hate the justice system. I was just going to be a punk back then in my 20s. And as soon as I sat down, those lawyers started to question me. I was like, I changed my tune immediately. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to be that person. And it really changed me in that respect. And I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to have people that are more professional than just the bus stop people, if you will.
I talked to George Fleischer about this on Vicky McCallum's stream once, and he said, well, there's the problem, because I get $100 a day, I'm in court. That would be allocation of taxpayer funds. It can be really, really hard to get that allocation.
That's true.
And we don't talk politics or stuff like that, but you have a problem with politics in your courtrooms in America. That would probably also be a problem on the list, because back in the day, it was the political parties who nominated the possible laymen.
Yeah.
Today, you can just apply. Everyone can apply, and we actually have a lot of focus on younger people, people with an ethnic background, because it's mostly 55, 60 years up, and public workers, because they can take the day off and they don't lose money to go to court as you probably would if you worked at a bank or something like that. But they have really worked hard to try and expand it. I've seen a lot more 18, 20-year-olds. But I think the system is better because everyone wants to be there. And we don't have all of these 12 men. Where I am at, it's a maximum of 4 years normally you can get in prison. Anything below that, we handle. So drugs, violence, SA, all of that stuff, we have it. If it's really big number of a lot of drugs is the word I'm trying to say.
Okay.
it's really a good day today.
You're doing fine.
Unalivings and all of that stuff, you'll
Yeah.
get the next step up where there's more judges and more laymen. You'll have 6 laymen and 3 judges. But ours is also a corporation, and we can split the vote. We are democratic court system, so we are 2 laymen and 1 judge. If we say no and he says yes, it's no.
Okay.
Then there'll be a written dissent saying, I thought this was strong enough evidence, so I voted the other way. But we have those, and we do everything. We do the guilty, not guilty, and we do the sentencing right after. You don't have to come back and do all of that stuff. All of that has been taken care of before you go to court.
Right.
And we don't have all of the theatrics that American court system has, with opening statements that's 4 hours long and closing that's even longer, and all of the good Dr. Russell, who probably have done more in the medical field than anyone else. Is she really an expert?
I know.
You would never have that in Denmark.
Yeah.
It's just a person who works in an ER. Oh, you're an ER doc. It's not that. So I think we have a lot of bonuses, but you can also have that where I've been there so many years. I know all the judges. They probably know I'm going to lean this way or that way because I have a voting record. We don't write it down that I always vote for higher or lower sentencing or something like that. But they probably know, okay, we're going to have a 6-week trial. We need someone who can do it. We're going to call him if there's someone missing because we know he's good at them. So you probably get some bias built into the system as well when you have the same people going over and over and over. But I think you have to pay your juries way more, and you have to get politics out of the courtroom. No elected judges, no the appointments. Whoever you contributed the most money to can appoint you. I don't like that system because it'll inherently turn corrupt when there's money and power. And start saying, I think Baker was an ombudsman in Lord of the Rings.
Nice. Yeah, those are all valid points. I agree, and I like having that discussion because I think. Are they cush in Denmark? Yeah. What are your prisons like?
A prison is better than a retirement home.
Really? Yeah.
You
now,
have your single cell, cable TV. I showed some of the maximum security cells, and people said, "Oh, it looks like a college dorm."
Wow. Yeah.
It's really cush, and unaliving someone in Denmark, 12 to 16 years. 16 if it's really bad.
We have our prisons have turned into de facto mental illness facilities, and
Lee, it's pinned on top of the chat, so it should be.
Lee. Yeah, they become de facto mental illness facilities, and we were covering Alyssa's trial a couple months ago, and he was the guy. Yeah, you remember that? He pew-pewed a bunch of people in a shopping mall, and he clearly needed help. And I did some research. See, that's the other thing with trials and keeping your mind active. And I love to drop knowledge on our chat because our chat's constantly asking, what about this? Do you know about the mother? Is the wife still, married? Are they divorced or whatever? What happened to the kids? All this stuff. So I did some research about the U.S. prison system because I kind of read about this in California where it has just literally become like 80% are mentally ill, and they're just not getting the treatment that they deserve. And that might be an exaggeration, but it's pretty bad. It's well over 50%. And I think it was like, I found this website and it was, it was like 30-40% of prisons house mentally ill inmates, and they do not get the care that they need and deserve. They're just basically thrown away, and I think that's a shame,
We talk a lot about it because a lot of the trials we're seeing stems from some kind of mental illness. And I think everything happened because of the asylum. And yes, some asylums were really, really, really bad. But some people are better off being in, of course, well cared for, being treated nicely, but where you know where they are and they can't go out and hurt others because they just don't understand the ramifications. I had a lady when I was in politics. She started talking about how the CIA and the Danish, it's called the PET, the Police Intelligence Service, were monitoring her bank card. So every time she was in the town, she was being followed by people. And as a politician, I should do something about it. And I went to the other people in my political group and I said, have you gotten this email? Yeah, she sends them to everyone. Just ignore them. Said, but ignore them. She clearly needs help. Yeah, well, she'll just spurg out down in the town in a couple of weeks, and then she'll go in for a month, and then she'll be right back out again. That lady doesn't have a worthy life because as soon as she gets out, she'll drop her meds and she'll be right back. And it's just that cycle. And I think because we had some bad care at asylums, we did that. Oh, everyone should be out and living with everyone else. But the problem is some people just can't live with someone else because they don't want to take their meds. They are violent against others. They have an unhealthy sexual appetite and all of this stuff. So, and I think the asylums just shifted into the prison system.
Yeah.
And the problem is they'll be kicked out every 2, 3, 5 months in Denmark. And it's just a revolving door for them.
Yeah. Did you follow the Chloe Driver case with Jason and Z? Do you remember those two?
I only saw Mr.
Jason.
I want to have a couple of wives too, so they can frolic on the beach.
That was Z. That was Benjamin. Yeah. Well, I think she's a perfect case of like she clearly was manipulated. You know, she met. Benjamin was like I think 36 or 38 when he met her at a bus stop, and she was like 16, 17 years old. So, you know, she just came into the relationship and she already had, issues, schizophrenia, paranoia, all this stuff. And the jury instructions were, and our chat basically said they voted, I think it was like over 50% said she's guilty but mentally ill. And therapist, is one of our Maz. She just popped in, and also Rachel B is Dr. Rachel. So they were great because they would come on our chats and afterward recaps and saying what the jury and what the defense should have really hammered home was that just because she's guilty by reason of insanity doesn't mean it's a cakewalk. Doesn't mean she gets to go home free. So that was not really explained by the defense, because I voted she's guilty, and even though I'm still sus about that, but she's guilty, but she's mentally ill. This woman needs help. But what we should have done is she's not guilty, but by reason of insanity, because that would have put her into a facility. And again, that's not a cakewalk. You do not want to be in one of those facilities. No, you're not behind bars, but at least you're getting the help. Whereas if you're guilty but mentally ill, you're not going to get that help. You're just going to be thrown in, and maybe you'll get some meds if you're lucky.
Yeah, and you see that a lot with a lot of these trials. It's the same. The Carly Gregg trial.
Yep.
Was there some underlying thing? And I hope apparently, as long as she's in juvie, which she should be until she's 18, she will get help. But then you just get pills and a lot of exercise when you get into to the Gen Pop. And that's I don't like that part of it. Sometimes it's.
And then there's some people that deserve to be in Gen Pop, and rightfully so. That Trevor Summers, we did a rewatch on him with Elisa, his wife. Are you familiar with that?
No. I'm really bad at following up. Everyone's saying, "What about the Daybell trial?" Who?
I know. Hey, I hear you.
Well, I only do this 40 hours a week, so why don't I study more on my free time? Jamie is saying that to me all the time. You're sounding like Jamie now.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie, if I say OH to Jamie, would she know what that means?
I don't know her. I just know she has. She says cheese Pete's a lot to me.
All right. Well, if next time you see her, tell her Squeegee said OH and see what her response is.
She doesn't watch the show, even though she's on them most of the time.
All right. If I'm reading her right, if I understood what you said one time, and I'm not going to say what it is you said, but Jamie, You're throwing up to that? Oh, yep, Miss Jessica caught it. 80s caught it. Therapist, caught it. So some people know what that means.
Yeah, it's she. I don't understand why she gets so excited she throws up when she hears about Ohio State.
No,
So,
no, no. The Ohio State
the
University.
Ohio State. Why? Why is it the Ohio? It's not like there's two Ohio's.
No, well, there's Ohio University, and then there's Ohio State University, OSU. So, yeah, it was the Ohio State. I forget the quarterback, but who was it? Jamie, help me out. Not Braxton Miller. It was he won the Heisman. Anyway, he in his interviews he would come on. He would say the Ohio State University. So they make a big point of saying the.
Yes. I see it on that Kale and Peel. Alabama.
Right.
I love
ball.
those. Yeah.
Are you into the sports ball? Do you get into sports?
Well,
ball
I watch real football.
Yeah, football, of course. Yeah, your footy ball. Yeah.
And we get in a little discussion now and again but a ball where 95% of it is played with your hands, you can't call football. That's handball, which is a different sport. Which we just won silver in for the ladies. But no, I like the Giants. I don't watch it as much as I did because again, I have to do this, so I can't sit up till 4 a.m. watching games. But I'm a Giants fan. I'm a Knicks fan, and I never got into ice hockey. And I'm a Mets fan, but I don't understand baseball. But my brother gave me a Mets cap back in '85, so you have to be a fan of that.
Yeah, so all New York teams there. Oh, pull up 80s music. Yeah, 80s music, man. OG.
That is a garbage school drive 100 miles west to God's country. I don't know what that is.
It's law. And of course the team from up north. we have people in our chat that are from Michigan, and I don't go there, and you know what, it's all good. I enjoy sports, but I love tennis. I used to play tennis. I still play tennis if I get a chance, but big tennis fan. But sports, it's a distraction. I get it.
Well, it's a good distraction sometimes because it's another way to spend 90 minutes where you're just you can kind of mellow out, and as I say, because I don't think most Americans really get European fan culture, because as I said, we can go to any sports game and get in a fight.
Yeah. Well, then you have fanatics. I mean, you do have the face painters, and I'm not one of those. I'm definitely not one of those. Federowski. I like Fed. I like Federer. You're a Michigan fan?
Yeah.
Oh, are you? Okay. So then saying OH, that was the wrong thing to say. Sorry, Jamie. Didn't mean to tweak you there. I am not a fanatic.
University of Notre Dame.
There you go. Now everybody's going to say the. I'm not a fanatic. I don't paint my face. I have it on in the background if my team is playing. If they make it far enough in the playoffs, whatever. Yeah, I'm interested. But I love music. You can tell. I love music. I'd rather pick up my guitar and play and than watch sports. But as a younger person, I engaged in a lot of sports. But again, I wasn't one of those fanatics. That wasn't me.
Yeah, I played on the lowest level. Played football on that level. I'm not good at it. I'm the big tank that just pushes people over. And
nice.
I had one season where I lost a heck of a lot of weight because I stopped drinking. I was around 20 at the time, so I've been drinking for a long time. I lost a lot of weight, got really quick, and then I really didn't like being that skinny. So that was one season I scored like 8 goals in a full season. I had my Albondi season and 4 touchdowns, game-winning poke high, 1964, I believe, was when he won it. So yeah, I like it. I don't go. I follow my team is like I have to drive half an hour to another city, and when I was younger and when I've been separated almost all the time I've had my kids, so you do the transport every Friday, every other Friday, every other Sunday. So if there was a football game on, I would take them to the football game on the way home. So we watched a lot of football back then. I'm sure both girls loved watching football. But
Yeah.
I saw it a lot more back then. But now, again, I'm streaming too much. I don't have the time to say I'll take. It'll be a 3 hour cut out of my day, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's.
Just
But I love Manchester United is playing tonight, so I'm going to watch that one because I have no stream for tonight. So that's
there you
a
go.
good one.
And actually, that's a good segue. I wanted to ask you, what you do to disconnect, from the trials and all the SA and the M's, that the unalivings. What do you do to, like, in your downtime? What do you do?
I try to hit the gym every day and lift stupid amounts of weight because that takes me out of it, and I use anger to lift because I lift heavy. So anger is a really, really good pre-workout.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of takes it out of me. That kind of slows me down, that I'm not that mad at what I have to sit through. But my dad was an EMT, and my mom was, she worked in the lab at the hospital. So I grew up at the dinner table listening to, oh, today I had to go to the train station. That person really were in pieces and stuff like that. So never really bothered me. I used to be a soldier. I was deployed in the Balkans back when that was a thing. Saw a few things down there. So I'm one of those people, and when I close the door, I'm out of it. It's I don't think about it. I don't know if it's a coping mechanism or something, but that's I don't have to sit there and no, I'll just close the door and I'm gone. It's some people can't do that. I know they'll. Of course, there's cases. I always say I have 3 cases for my entire time as a layman, and I do between 10 and 20 cases a year. I have 3 cases I probably remember every second of. One of them because it was someone who had threatened another guy with a pew-pew to get a dog back. They sold him.
Wow.
Stupid case, but the thing I remember was every one of them. You have that rule in Denmark that if you are deemed too stupid to understand that you're being punished, you can't be punished. And none of those people, we could have sent them in prison for life. We could have let them go, or we could do whatever. None of them would have understood a single thing that happened. And I've just felt so sorry for them, especially those 2 young girls who hooked up with these 2 boys who used them to lure people. And then I had a murder case where we had to watch pictures of a girl who, let's just say her face looked more like a football than a face. That wasn't nice.
Yeah. That's
and I had a guy who was really fond of raping women. I think he was indicted with 8 rapes. We got him on 6 of them. He had a lot of drugs. He had a lot of crazy driving, attempted unalivings. Those cases I will probably always remember, but the rest of them, I'll close the door. I'm out of there. Sometimes when I leave court, I forget what the trial was I was just doing. I think it's a coping mechanism because my parents were old school healthcare workers, and the weather in Denmark is gray, dark, and wet. That's I took a picture yesterday on my Instagram at 11 a.m. and it was probably the brightest it was out all day. It was just gray and dark. So a lot of D vitamins.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna follow up with that as far as it's funny how people do cope. That's your coping mechanism is that. If you want to read Rage Crochet. I love that handle. That's great.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. I feel like, we do not shy away from the uglies. Humans, humans suck. We are terrible. We are terrible to each other, to the planet, to other beings on this planet. And I want to, like, a lot of our chat is like, oh, you're going to do another one with a little kid that, got unalived. And I'm like, I want to be that voice for that kid. I want to stand witness for that kid, because if I don't, and I shy away from that, we're never going to find out about that, and the world will just continue on. So I want to be the voice for that child that, you know, that happened too. So we don't shy away from that, is ultimately what I'm saying.
I don't like doing them. There was a slew of them. I don't like doing them back to back because kids are kids, and it's just universal. It's really hard sometimes.
It's brutal. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I did the Harmony Montgomery trial. That will probably haunt me forever. Listening to the description of how Kayla, the horrible person, claimed he did it. I would rather have it the way we think it happened, that she OD'd on their fentanyl or something. But that I'll take that with me for a long time. But no, you have to do. It's the same. I was thinking a lot about the Georgia case we just had, because there's been all of that kerfuffle about his legal status. And I said, if I'm going to cover it, you have to leave your politics at home. It doesn't matter that he's here illegally. It's an empty plate at Thanksgiving. And I want to cover the case because that woman also needs to have her case covered. Sarah Boone, yeah, she's an idiot. We can all sit and laugh at that, but let's also watch this trial. And my chat was wonderful. I had one person who kind of got mad, and I told off, and I had another one who claimed I was a racist. That was an easy block on my channel because I just didn't want to hear that. But that I only thought he was guilty or thought about it because he was brown. I hate people like that. It's really a plague we're having on society, all of those name callings. But yeah, you're right. Even the worst case, everyone want to have the big one. Everyone want to hit the Rittenhouse. Everyone want to hit the Karen Reed was massive for me. I ran for 4,000 to 12,000 subscribers on that trial alone. So everyone want to hit the big time. So everyone is going for the big time. That's why I said I'm not going to do the Idaho or the Delphi case. I'm probably not going to do the Idaho 4. I'll let everyone else have it. I'll find Podunk, Indiana, cover someone out of there. And Legal Mind, I used to be I played in the Navy band when I was enlisted back in the day, and then I joined the Army, and I joined the International Brigade, which sounds fancy, but it's just it's like weekend soldiers that's called in once a year. So
well, I like your attitude, the cut of your jib, if you will, but because everybody wants us to do Kohlberger. Where do you stand with Kohlberger? 5 months trial, everybody's going to be doing it. What do you do?
I had Julio, I believe it was Yolanda Julio law on. She was really into it, knew all about it, talked a lot about there's shenanigans going on, some DNA, some stuff. I know there's a K-bar missing because Steve Gosney was asked about it back in the day when it first came up. I know nothing about it. I've heard snips and snaps about someone saw someone and it didn't really make sense and no one heard anything or something, and now they sold the house. There's all the trappings for a really, really good creator case, but it's also the trappings for you're going to get bogged down for 5 months in a case, and you're going to be a Kohlberger channel. Yep. And whenever I see a group of people, I run the other way. And that's probably why I'm such a bad grifter, because I could sit here every night and say, so did you notice in the Karen Reed case, where are John's socks? They're on the picture when he's on the gurney, but they were never entered into evidence. Isn't that weird? Could it be that the very known sock gnomes had stolen them? Are they behind it? And I could sit here every night and just talk Karen Reed. I'll probably have bigger numbers than I have now because people are really interested in it.
Yeah.
When she's found not guilty, they will be gone faster than anything. We saw it with the Rittenhouse. We saw it with the JD and AH case.
Yep.
Everyone who becomes a this trial channel disappears.
Man, I am so in this. Aaron and I are in the same boat as you. And we really, before we got demonetized, we were dual streaming, and it was awesome because we would cover a bigger trial, if you will, but then we would cover, and I agree with you, we like those smaller trials. That's, we love those smaller trials that nobody's heard about. We gained a lot of followers. Hey, Sneaky. We've gained a lot of followers doing trials that nobody else has heard of. And people will come into the chat and say, oh my gosh, I never heard of this. This is awesome. So we don't want to do it, but we've had pushback from our chat and other people that are like, I'm going to go elsewhere then.
Don't listen to chat.
We'll watch it somewhere else. So it's like, so we still have to figure that out. We still have to.
Yeah, well, I'll take the hit and sit here and go back and have 40 people, because again, I'm such a bad grifter. I don't do this for the money. The money is nice, and I'm very, very happy that I have a lot of generous people who make me pay all the stuff. I'm wasting it on buying subscriptions to Canva and new screens and all of that stuff. So
right.
I'm not gonna, as I said, I make YouTube money. I'm not YouTube rich, so I can't develop a habit or anything. So I don't have that kind of money, and I'll probably survive if I go for 5 weeks, 5 months where I'm covering the local Florida case. And I used to play the big drum in the Navy band.
Nice. I say in those 5 months. Oh, sorry, and tuba. Oh, nice.
I was in a marching band in my town, and I played the tuba there for. I think I played music for 15 years or something like that.
Nice, nice.
So,
I was going to say in those 5 months of Kohlberger, you'll probably be able to do 10 trials, 10 smaller trials.
Nick and I made fun of when he started covering the YSL trial. I said, I've been doing 5 trials before you ended. I think I ended with 10 or 15 cases.
Yeah.
Because that just drug on.
Yep.
So
yeah, we still have to make that decision. Aaron and I have to make that decision because, like I said, a lot of people are pushing back. But
but that's the hard part, because you're new and you just grew and you want to be there for chat, but you have to sit there and think, can I really spend 5 months talking about the same subject? Those 8 weeks of Karen Reed. If I hadn't had that week in Tennessee, where I was so lucky that Marissa and Jamie took over and ran the show while I took a week's vacation, I would have burned out massively because I just can't do it. I don't know why.
I agree.
No, I didn't play drums. I played the big drum. I can't. My hands don't work. I can only do the
bass drum. The bass drum in front of you? Yeah.
Yeah, the big.
Yeah.
So I can do that. I can't do that. I love the trial. Chris is covering now. Forever 18. It's turning into a possible serial. Oh.
Yeah, it's Jeffrey Burns. It happened in '79. It's pretty interesting. They DNA caught up to him, and now he was tried in 2020. So we're doing a rewatch because, as you know, trials are pretty slow right now.
We just had a case. I think it's 25 years old. They just got a hit on the DNA today, or yesterday. Awesome. They arrested the guy yesterday.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
Unalived some young women and raped an 11-year-old, but she survived, even though he was really close to unaliving her as well. I think it was 25 years or something like that.
Wow.
Wow. Marissa, this is a good Christian channel. Please behave. My son played Sousa.
Nice.
Yeah, we don't really use them in Denmark. It's more if you play jazz music, you need those, because brass bands, we need that. It'll tend to do more of a sound when you use a sousaphone.
Let me ask you a question. Are we going to continue? Because I need to take a comfort break real quick. I'm sorry.
No, I was just about to say we've been going for an hour, and that's normally where I try to run it down and give you a little time to plug yourself.
All right, because I would love to talk more, and I'm going to invite you on one of our shows. If I'll send you the details, if you would be kind enough to come on and return the favor, come on our show.
As someone reached out for end of the year stream, I said, as long as it fits into the plans, even if it's in the night streams, I'll just try and sleep around it. Always reach out if you need me, but plug yourself.
Sure. So I am the Squeegee of Justice. I am a co-founder with Aaron, Trial TV Live. You can find us on YouTube. We also are on Twitter, X, if you will, Blue Sky, and Facebook. please join us. We stream trials. We cover all trials. We don't shy away from anything. And please join us. Today, we're going to be picking up on day rewatch of Iowa versus Jerry Burns. So I hope you join us. And thank you, Baker, for having us on. And open invitation anytime you want to come on our show. We would love to have you on. So again, thank you for having us on. And thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Have a great holiday season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's coming up. Oh, that's going to be nice. I'm going to spend it with my first little grandson this year. It's going to be wonderful.
That's sweet. Nice.
Yeah. Everyone, please go like and subscribe. They have wonderful content, kind of like this. And their chat is also kind of like this. Nice people who just hang out and enjoy a good conversation. So
Awesome. Yeah.
it's one of the places where you can get good coverage. Tomorrow, I still don't have a guest. I have a person who have said, so I don't know if I'll pick up a guest for tomorrow, but there will be a baking stream tomorrow. I'll have to bake before Saturday, so tomorrow will be a baking stream at least. Perfect. We also have a case we are looking at. It's a woman who unalived her 3 kids in Massachusetts, claiming insanity. I have 177 pages of court documents. Most of it is repeatable, but at least there's a lot to read. So I'll probably do that. I don't have anyone on Saturdays. I'll probably do that one Saturday after I delivered the cakes. Can we cuss occasionally? You do that any way you like. That's why we have the jar.
There you go, the swear jar. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but thank you so much, and thank you for. Even though I sent you the wrong link, now I'm going to go check the other links I've sent out.
No worries. We pivot. We pivot very quickly.
Yeah, we are agile, but
exactly.
Stick around till after, and I'll just play an outro if you can do that. Yes. There it is.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100. Because it is 100% correct.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't have cared.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.